My husband said he was working late. What I discovered destroyed me. For the longest time, I believed my marriage was something unbreakable, something built on years of trust, little routines, and the comfort of knowing the person beside you every night was the same soul you'd chosen to love on your wedding day. My husband, Daniel, had always been gentle, steady, and predictable in the best way possible. He kissed me on my forehead every morning, brought me flowers on random Tuesdays, and never forgot our anniversaries. He remembered how I liked my tea, how I got anxious before big events, and how much I hated thunderstorms. It's almost ironic now how the calmest storms are the ones that slowly drown you without warning. It began so silently I almost missed it. At first, it was just one late night at the office. "Babe, I'm sorry," he had said, hugging me from behind as I stirred the pasta. "The firm has new clients coming in and we're swamped. I'll be late tonight." I didn't think much of it. Work gets busy, deadlines rush in, life happens. But then it became twice a week, then 3 times, then almost every night. I kept telling myself he was stressed. He had always been ambitious, always pushing himself to be the best version of himself at work. I admired that about him, so I didn't want to be the insecure wife who questioned her husband's dedication. But something didn't feel right. It wasn't just the late nights, it was the way he acted when he came home. He'd shower immediately, as though he carried the day in sense he didn't want me to notice. He checked his phone more often, turning the screen away from me with the slightest tilt of his wrist. He stopped looking me in the eyes when he talked. It was the little things, the unspoken things, that started pulling threads out of the fabric of our relationship. One night, when he was supposedly working late, I decided to surprise him. I made his favorite meal, roasted chicken with lemon, garlic, mashed potatoes, and a chocolate mousse he loved so much he'd scrape the bowl clean. I planned to bring it to his office. I imagined his tired smile, the way his eyes would soften with gratitude. I wanted to be supportive, to remind him we were a team. But life doesn't care about beautiful intentions. It reveals truths you never asked for. When I arrived at Daniel's office building around PM, I immediately knew something was wrong. The main lobby lights were dimmed, and the security guard sat half asleep behind the desk. "Hi," I whispered, smiling politely. "I'm here to drop dinner off for my husband, Daniel Reed. He's working late tonight." The security guard frowned. "Ma'am, nobody's been here for hours. Everyone left around 7. For a moment, I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. "Are you sure?" I asked, my voice tight. "Positive. It's been quiet all night." I thanked him, walked calmly back to my car, and once the door shut, I felt something crack inside me. A part of me shattered just from hearing those words. Still, I wasn't ready to assume the worst. I drove home in complete silence, the container of food sitting untouched beside me. My fingers trembled on the steering wheel. My mind raced with possibilities, excuses, hopeful lies. Maybe he went out with co-workers. Maybe he needed space. Maybe he just didn't want to worry me. Those thoughts kept me breathing until I saw something I wasn't prepared for. Daniel's car pulling slowly into our driveway. I hadn't even turned the lights on. I stayed perfectly still as I watched him step out, adjusting his hair in the reflection of his car window. Something he never did unless he was going somewhere important or meeting someone important. He walked toward the door, humming under his breath, strangely cheerful for someone who had spent hours at work. That's when my heart finally sank. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I walked into the kitchen, set the untouched dinner on the counter, and tried to calm the storm inside my chest. When he opened the door, I could tell he wasn't expecting me to be awake. "Hey," he said casually, kicking off his shoes. "You're still up." His tone was too relaxed to natural-like. Everything in his world was perfectly ordinary. "Where were you?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. He blinked, surprised. "At work. I told you it'd be a long night." "Funny," I whispered, "because I went to your office." He froze. Every muscle in his body tightened. "You what?" "I took dinner for you," the security guard said. "Everyone left at 7. The silence that followed was suffocating. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just looked at me with wide, guilty eyes that told me everything before his mouth even opened. "It's not what you think," he murmured. But the way he said it, soft, defeated, already confirmed the truth. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Then tell me, I said, my voice cracking. Tell me where you've been every night. Tell me why you smelled like perfume last week. Tell me why you avoid my eyes. Tell me why you can't even look at the dinner I made. He swallowed hard. Her name is Lily, he finally said, barely audible. It just happened. I didn't plan it. My knees almost gave out. Her. There was a her. A real person. A name. A woman who had been touching the hands that held me for years. A woman who had been taking the hours that belonged to us. I didn't even realize tears were streaming down my face until I tasted salt on my lips. How long? I whispered. A few months. Months. My husband, the man I trusted with my whole soul, had been lying to me for months. Do you love her? I asked. He hesitated. That single hesitation was enough to tear the last piece of hope out of me. I felt something inside me break in a way that couldn't be repaired. Not with apologies. Not with time. Not with anything. I never wanted to hurt you, he said, stepping closer. I stepped back like his presence burned me. But you did. Every time you looked me in the eyes and lied. You hurt me. Every night you didn't come home. You hurt me. Every time you chose her. You destroyed another part of us. He sank onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. I could hear him trying to breathe, trying to find words to fix what he had destroyed. But I didn't want words anymore. I wanted the truth. I wanted the woman I used to be before tonight. I wanted the version of my marriage that existed only in my imagination. I walked upstairs without another word. I packed a small bag, just enough clothes for a few days. When I came back down, he stood up immediately. Where are you going? His voice sounded desperate, shaky. Somewhere you're not. I said quietly. I need space. I need air. I need to remember who I am without the lies you wrap me in. Please, he said, tears filling his eyes. Don't leave. We can fix this. I'll end things with her. I'll do anything, just please don't go. I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw a stranger. A man who had made choices I couldn't forgive. A man who had broken the woman he promised to protect. You already ended us, I whispered. You just didn't admit it until tonight. I walked out the door without looking back, because if I did, I knew I might break completely. That night, I stayed at my sister's. I cried until morning. I grieved the marriage I thought I had. I grieved the future I thought we were building. And when the sun rose, I realized something. What destroyed me also freed me. I didn't deserve half love. I didn't deserve lies dressed as excuses. I didn't deserve a husband who treated loyalty like an option. I deserved more. And I would rebuild from this, piece by piece, even if it hurt. Even if it took time. Because some heartbreaks aren't the end. They're the beginning of finally choosing yourself.